Good evening. Welcome to Fox 54 News at 6. I'm Kenesha Dees. Today, we pause and reflect on the service members who sacrificed their lives Memorial Day. And this day of remembrance came with some rain, lots of it. Take a look for yourself. It's been a wet and nasty Memorial Day weekend. You can see on the ground below, still saturated by that rain, cloudy sky above, and I hear the showers aren't stopping anytime soon in the Tennessee Valley. Joining us is Fox 54 Weather Impact Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman. Jordan, it's been a while since I've seen lots of rain in the Tennessee Valley on Memorial Day.
Yeah, it's been a while since we have seen this much rain this consistently over the course of a few days, and then even rain this much on Memorial Day. Sometimes it rains for a little bit on Memorial Day, but then we still get plenty of sunshine. Normally the day is not the soaker that it has been today. Live look out over the Parkway this evening. Only a little bit of traffic, of course. There's no evening commute on the day when most folks are off work, but the message is still the same. The roadways are wet, just like you saw over there in Decatur. The sky is cloudy, and we're not the only ones. Decatur's not the only ones. Everybody's talking about rain this evening. Rain is kind of a consistent feature across the entire Tennessee Valley, and this, of course, includes our friends up across southern Middle Tennessee. Maybe it's no surprise that some of us are under a flood watch, everybody east of the I-65 corridor, and we'll talk about why specifically those folks here in a little bit. But if you are going to be stepping outside and kind of braving the rain this evening, temperatures are currently sitting in the lower 70s, mid 70s for our friends up across southern Middle Tennessee. Rain stays in the forecast for the next several days. We'll talk about it in great detail here in a few minutes.
Tonight, we've learned a Tuscumbia woman dead after a single car crash in Colbert County. The Alabama Law Enforcement Agency says the crash happened around 8:45 last night on Alabama 247 near the 24-mile marker. Authorities say the car left the road, struck a utility pole and several trees and overturned. Aaliyah says the driver, 66-year-old Lisa Foster, was not wearing a seatbelt at the time of the crash and was ejected from the car. She was pronounced dead at the scene. Another woman dead after a two-car crash in Gunnersville this weekend. Here's what we know so far. The Gunnersville Police Department says officers responded Saturday to a collision involving a car and a truck in the southbound lanes of Highway 69. Gunnersville Police Department Traffic Homicide Unit is investigating. Just days after the end of National Boater Safety Week, a Woodstock man died following a boating accident in Marengo County. The Alabama Law Enforcement Agency says this accident happened on Lake Demopolis around 2:30 p.m. yesterday. Authorities say Bruce Cornegay was driving his boat when he was ejected and struck by his boat. He was taken to the hospital where he was pronounced dead. Aaliyah says Cornegay wasn't wearing a personal flotation device and wasn't using an emergency cutoff switch at the time of the incident. Compelling images we've got to show you of crews in Harvest battling a car fire at a gas station. Take a look. The Harvest Volunteer Fire Department says crews responded to the FX gas station in the 6300 block of Highway 53 around 7:45 last night. When crews arrived, they say they found this car on fire. Because of concerns the fire could spread to nearby buildings, crews you see there with Tony Volunteer Fire and Rescue were called to help extinguish it. Officials say around 900 gallons of water was used to put out the fire, and thankfully no injuries were reported. The family of a construction worker killed in a trench collapse last year has filed a wrongful death lawsuit. Enrique Cao was killed in December when a trench caved in during a sewage pipe installation. Last month, the Occupational Safety and Health Administration, or OSHA, cited Breland Homes Incorporated for 8 serious safety violations, which could incur more than $115,000 in federal fines. His family now suing Southern Trust Capital LLC and others, claiming Cao was made to work outside a protective trench box and that contractors failed to supervise the site and meet safety standards. A bench trial that could decide whether the city can permanently shut down the 708 Bar and Grill set for tomorrow. 708 has been closed since the city of Huntsville sought an injunction last September, citing a documented history of shootings, assaults, and noise complaints. A judge originally set a hearing for May 12 after the city filed a motion for summary judgment, asking the court to rule in its favor without a full trial. But that hearing was continued. Tomorrow, a judge could grant a summary judgment based on the owner's conduct in court, saying owner Malcolm Gopher failed to answer the complaint on time, missed a court-ordered hearing, and ignored multiple discovery orders. The trial set for 9 a.m. Madison City Council meets tomorrow. On the agenda, a public hearing on the demolition of a fire-damaged hotel. The Madison Inn and Suite has sat vacant behind a security fence since an August fire damaged the property. The motel has drawn complaints from guests long before the fire, with online reviews claiming the property was in poor physical condition. Tomorrow's hearing will allow you to address the council before a vote, which would come at a later council session. Also on the agenda is the first reading for an ordinance establishing regulations for short-term rentals. The Madison City Council meets at Madison City Hall tomorrow at 6 p.m. And as a reminder, any city council meetings that were supposed to meet today will meet tomorrow. President Trump honored fallen U.S. service members at Arlington National Cemetery today, including 13 who died in connection with the war in Iran. The president was joined by Vice President J.D. Vance and the family of Captain Ariana Savino, who died aboard a refueling aircraft that crashed in Iraq. Savino was the chief operations pilot at Sumter Smith Joint National Guard Base in Birmingham. As the president works to secure an end to the war, he projected victory and says the service members will not have died in vain.
Around the world, we unite in solemn observance. With reverent hearts, we honor those who fell so that our republic might stand, those who died so that our nation could live, those who gave up their sacred light on earth so that the sublime light of American freedom would shine forever and ever. This Memorial Day, we salute them, we exalt them, and we thank them for all that we have and for all that they gave. They gave everything.
Back here in the Tennessee Valley, the community gathered this morning on Huntsville-Madison County Veterans Memorial Park to reflect and remember this Memorial Day. The annual ceremony and laying of wreaths took place at its traditional location, an outdoor service that is always free to attend, featuring guest speakers, including Huntsville Mayor Tommy Battle and Redstone Arsenal Senior Commander Lieutenant General Gavin Lawrence. For veterans like bugle player and Sergeant First Class David Byer, the gathering is a powerful reminder that the sacrifices of the fallen are never overlooked.
Huntsville is a great place. And I think the best part about the whole thing is just we're not forgetting. We're always remembering. Trying to show the gratitude, be grateful, and just to understand, what it took to get us to this point right here, the importance of that and everything. And unfortunately, there's too many people that are taking for granted what it is that we are blessed with, and what it took to get to this point and everything. And I think that we just need to be reminded that it's not easy. It's never easy.
More than 40 veterans organizations and Gold Star families took part in the laying of the wreaths during the hour-long program. Meanwhile, in Florence, families commemorated Memorial Day with the Wall of Remembrance for the heroes who gave their lives either at home during training or under foreign skies. The theme, One Nation, Many Stories. And all of those stories are of loss, the missing seat at the dinner table, the children that are without a father, and the reunions that are missing a friend. Fox 54's Caleb Aguayo takes us to Florence for that remembrance.
I served during the Cold War, and during my Cold War years, I lost 6 friends training for the defense of our country. Memorial Day and Veterans Days are great days to rededicate our lives to living lives worthy of the courage and sacrifices and prayers of our forefathers.
Lieutenant Colonel Ed Yielding is just one of millions across the country with stories of friends and family who lost their lives in the line of duty.
Each one here today has a story. They all have a story that they can tell about either a loved one, a friend, fellow soldier, someone that's in their life that's no longer in their life. And to tell that story means a whole lot for us to never forget.
Many of the people here tell me Memorial Day isn't just another long weekend. They say whatever you're doing, take a moment and reflect on the sacrifices made yesterday that are giving you a tomorrow to celebrate.
If we're out there enjoying our barbecues, doing whatever their family's doing, to understand that they are doing this because people have paid the ultimate price.
According to Mayor Ron Tyler, it's the ultimate price that gives us the ability to celebrate with the people still here.
These people who gave their lives for us are the ones who put their own safety, put themselves at risk between the enemy and this country, so people could be safe at home and could be safe in their beds, so they could grill out today, they could go to baseball games today. Somebody had to go and stand in the gap.
And it's the ones who stood in that gap that many families in the city of Florence are remembering today. In Florence, I'm Caleb Aguayo, Fox 54 News.
Many people at the ceremony told Fox 54 the best way to remember the fallen is to live a life with purpose that honors their sacrifice each and every day. Wise words to live by, and you can find more stories about the people, places, and things that built America right here on the Fox 54 app.
I feel great to be part of this wonderful event, to honor the soldiers and their families.
On this day of remembrance, thousands of runners lace up their shoes for the annual Cotton Row Run. We'll take you back to downtown Huntsville. Women with weapons, this is for you. The Decatur Police Department offers courses to help you be more comfortable with owning a gun. We have the dates ahead. A Memorial Day tradition spanning nearly 5 decades brought thousands of people to downtown Huntsville bright and early this morning. The 46th annual Bill Penny Toyota Cotton Row Run concluded earlier today, combining elite athleticism with community remembrance. Almost 4,700 runners took on the Cotton Row Run, proudly conducted by the Huntsville Track Club. While the event featured a 1-mile fun run and a 5K, the flagship 10K course forced runners to face one of the toughest hills in the region. 10K winner Reed Buchanan, racing in Alabama for the very first time, says the course definitely tested his strength.
I've never ran on an incline that steep before. It's like borderline a mountain. It was good. It was a tough course, but it was a really cool event, and I love all the spectators along the course coming out of their houses early in the morning to cheer us on.
Oh yeah, but that mountain was no match for the energy in downtown Huntsville. Runners from all over came out to enjoy the perfect weather in the unbeatable spirit of the Rocket City.
I feel great to be part of this wonderful event, to honor the soldiers and their families. So I just feel so honored to be here with all the wonderful runners in Huntsville as well. All over, people coming to this event. So we got almost 3,700 people, runners here for 10K, 5K, and 1 mile. That's just awesome.
While the streets have since reopened and the traffic is clear, the true meaning of the day remains, starting Memorial Day with a purpose and honoring those who made the ultimate sacrifice. The Space and Rocket Center's prestigious planetarium set for another closure. We have those details on why ahead. And Jordan, it was a wet mess this Memorial Day.
Yeah, definitely. We saw a lot of rain across North Alabama, southern Middle Tennessee, and there is a lot more in the forecast. We'll talk about it in just a minute.
Over County 911, what's the address of your emergency room? Okay, your wife is in a bar. You said she's unresponsive.
This is what he's going to tell you.
How to get out of that situation.
And I grabbed the gun.
Trying to find the first place to put a body.
No, sir. The only thing they could do was kill him.
You want to say anything? We, the jury, and to find the defendant.
The U.S. Space and Rocket Center will close the Intuitive Planetarium again, but just for a few days. Officials say the facility will shut down starting tomorrow, marking its second closure this year for enhancements. Details on the latest improvements have not been released, but the planetarium recently reopened with new features designed to improve the guest experience. The planetarium is expected to reopen June 4th. The Madison Police Foundation and Chuck Wagon Barbecue team up for a month-long fundraiser to help protect the city's police canine officers. The Buy a Dog, Save a Dog fundraiser will be held every Saturday in June. Proceeds go toward buying bulletproof vests for Madison police canine officers who work alongside handlers to assist in daily law enforcement operations. The event features barbecue sales, with every purchase supporting the Canine Division. The Decatur Police Department is inviting women to take part in a free firearm safety course next month. The Women with Weapons training course is open to women over 21 years old and is designed to help you become more comfortable, knowledgeable, and responsible handgun owners. Training is June 20th, June 21st, and July 11th at the Decatur Police Firearms Range. Find applications on FOX54.com. Oh, well, we woke up with the fog advisory this morning. We also saw plenty of rain throughout the afternoon and throughout the day. In some parts, sun made an appearance, Jordan?
Yeah, maybe for like a couple of quick seconds here and there, but at least somebody this afternoon, I do think, actually gets to claim that they have seen the sun.
Well, look at them.
Exactly.
I didn't see any.
No, I didn't see any either. I hardly saw much of the way of any sunshine at all this weekend, and it looks like we're going to continue with the cloud cover and the rain, not just this evening, but for the next couple of days as well. No sun here in the city of Huntsville, that's for sure. Though not a lot of traffic on the Parkway this evening. We're looking southbound on Memorial Parkway. Roadway's wet, of course. We've been talking about rain here in the city for the last several hours, and some of us have seen a significant amount of rain over the last several days, specifically over the last 5 days. Now, understand that these are just radar estimates, but I want you to pay attention to these estimates across northeast Alabama. Jackson down into Marshall counties, portions of Morgan and Coleman counties, those folks have seen anywhere between 6 and 7.5 inches of rain over the last 5 days or so. Now, some of us have seen significantly less, but regardless, rainfall total is kind of impressive across the entire Tennessee Valley. Right around 2 inches of rain over the last 5 days in Pulaski. Our friends in Russellville, right around 1.42 inches of rain over the last 5 days. Maybe it goes without saying that Flooding is going to be a concern. With that in mind, everybody east of the I-65 corridor is talking about a flood watch. Now, that's going to run until 10 p.m. on Tuesday, but I would not be the least bit surprised if that is extended a couple of more days just because more rain is in the forecast. I'll show you that in just a second. Now, the good news here is that despite the flood watch, river levels across the Tennessee Valley are all in the good category, and I would really like it if we could keep it that way for the next couple of days. Because, like I said, more rain is going to be in the forecast, not just as we head into Tuesday and Wednesday, but through Thursday, Friday, and the front half of the weekend as well. Rain chances finally begin to drop off across the Tennessee Valley by the time we get to the back half of the weekend and the early part of next week. Really not the greatest way to start off summer vacation. Widespread rain this evening across the Tennessee Valley, maybe some heavier precipitation down southern Madison County, kind of beginning to head into Jackson County, some pockets of heavier rain, maybe a couple of rumbles of thunder, that's about it. Otherwise, we're just kind of talking about this annoying steady rain across the area, which is going to stick with us in some capacity every single day. It won't be a complete and total widespread wash all of the time, but understand that rain is going to be with us in some locations at any given point. Here's Futurecast, 8 o'clock in the morning on Tuesday. Everybody's heading back to work tomorrow morning. Maybe a little bit of rain across northeast Alabama. We continue with that trend of a little bit of rain across northeast Alabama as we head into the early part of the afternoon, but rain does gradually begin to fill into the area through the later part of Tuesday afternoon and then early into Tuesday evening, even through the middle part of the evening. As we head into the early part of the overnight, we're going to stick with some rain. A couple of passing showers will be possible through the overnight and then early into your Wednesday morning. Scattered showers, a couple of rumbles of thunder through the early part of Wednesday afternoon, and then even as we head into Wednesday evening, the overnight, and then through the earliest hours of Thursday morning. We're still talking about a little bit of rain, and then more widespread rain through Thursday afternoon and Thursday evening. Temperatures currently sitting in the 70s across the Tennessee Valley, 70 in Scottsboro, 71 degrees right now in Huntsville. We drop into the mid-60s as we head into the overnight. I've got a low temperature right around 67 degrees. Have a good look at the next 7 days. Temperatures are going to stay somewhat stagnant over the next several days and below average. Average for this time of year, remember, we're heading into the last couple of days of May at this point, right around 85 or 86 degrees. 80 on Tuesday, 82 on Wednesday, 83 Thursday. We continue to talk about the lower 80s on Friday, 81 degrees, but then kind of hang out in the mid and upper 70s as we head into the weekend. 78 on Saturday, 77 on Sunday. Smaller rain chance on Sunday, but temperatures are going to be a little bit cooler. And then 77 degrees on Monday with smaller rain chances yet. And by the time we get to Monday, I do actually think we're going to get to enjoy some consistent sunshine.
Looking forward to it. Well, if you plan to grill this summer, the National Fire Protection Association and Tennessee Wildland Fire are sharing important tips to help keep your backyard cookout safe and fire-free. The NFPA recommends placing grills away from your home while also keeping children and pets at least 3 feet away from the grilling area. If you're using a charcoal grill, the Tennessee Wildland Fire says you should never dump ashes into the trash, leaves, or mulch. For more tips, go to FOX54.com. Lawrence County residents, here's a chance to learn about fire prevention tips. The Lawrence County EMA teamed up with the Alabama Forestry Commission and Speak Fire Rescue to host the hands-on event, allowing you to learn about preventing fires, see real wildfire equipment, and learn how crews respond to wildfires in the field. This event is tomorrow at 6 p.m. at 555 Walnut Street. Mo, what's happening in sports?
Well, Auburn and Alabama, they are set to host regionals for this year's NCAA baseball tourney. We'll break down both of their regions next.
Fox 54 Plus has your news, sports, and weather. Start your evening with Fox 54 at 5:30, delivering the latest headlines and live reports straight from the scene. Then stay informed with Fox 54 News at 9, featuring your Tennessee Valley certified most accurate weather impact team, tracking everything from tornado threats to traffic delays during severe weather. Fox 54 Sports Extra brings you more of what sports fans crave, with deeper insights, expert analysis, and all the action that matters most. On Fox 54 Plus, you'll also find Alabama politics, plus 24/7 weather radar and real-time forecasts to keep you ahead of the storm. Looking for a quick recap? Don't miss Fox 54 Week in Review, highlighting the biggest stories of the week. Jumpstart your morning with Morning Rush. Fast-paced news updates featured with uplifting stories from across the globe. Get your entertainment fix with Getting Real, where we break down movie reviews, top 10 lists, and spotlight the newest film. Die Hard fan? Locked On Sports dives deep into the Crimson Tide, the Tigers, college rivalries, and pro action. True crime warrior style? Killer Cases brings you gripping real-life stories that stick with you. Hungry for more? Cooking with Style serves up mouth-watering recipes that are easy to make and impossible to resist. From movie previews before you head to the theater with Take a Look to must-know headlines from across the region and around the world with In the News. Watch all of these shows on demand and also on the Fox 54 News app. Available on Android and iOS devices. Streaming 24/7.
In the world of college baseball, all eyes will shift to Charles Schwab Field in the upcoming weeks for another Men's College World Series. And then the road to Omaha, it officially begins this week with regional action. This morning, the Auburn Tigers, they received word that they are the 4th seed in this year's national tournament. Now, Butch Thomas's teams, they will welcome the likes of Milwaukee, UCF, and NC State to the Plains this weekend for the Auburn Regional. Getting to Omaha is an ultimate goal for the Tigers, but according to Coach Thompson, that journey begins with his team just enjoying the moment that's in front of them.
You guys that have covered us, I've talked about the present a lot, and I just want us to be present for the journey, because I think sitting here at this selection show for these guys, someday this will be something that they'll cherish. And can we dig some of that out in the moment? The games that we've played and the journey we've been on here to this point, we've got to enjoy this as we're going through it. And I don't think that's just for college baseball players. I think that for anybody that'll listen, that we need to find a way to enjoy our journeys.
So here's a look at the Auburn Regional. It'll kick off with the home team, Auburn, taking on Milwaukee this Friday at noon. The nightcap will feature UCF as they take on NC State. The Alabama Crimson Tide, they're the 7th seed nationally. They'll host a region down on the capstone. It all kicks off with Oklahoma State taking on USC Upstate. Alabama, they'll take on SWAC champ Alabama State. First pitch for that game is set for 6 p.m. And coming up tonight in sports at 9 on Fox 54, we'll talk to Coach Patrick Murphy and his crew as they prepare for the Women's College World Series. Kanisha.
Yes, coming up tonight on Fox 54 News at 9, an emotional commemoration for fallen service members in Guntersville. Fox 54's Gabe Glassman has the story. President Trump says negotiations to end the war with Iran are proceeding nicely, but some sticking points remain. We'll tell you what they are. And a South Alabama boy who was kidnapped at 5 years old has hit a big milestone, a major one, high school graduation. We've got the story coming up tonight at 9. Check this out. A new study aims to answer why the T-Rex had such tiny arms. The study says the Tyrannosaurus Rex evolved to have an extremely strong skull, and since evolution tends to prefer perfecting one feature at a time, it came at the expense of upper body strength. The T-Rex simply didn't need strong arms when he could kill just about anything by headbutting it. Well, I know you always wanted to be an archaeologist and you have an interest in that, so anything to weigh in on, Mo?
Yes, Mo, tell us the correlation between
I
head
do
size.
remember like conversations I had with my friends like in elementary school of like, hey, you know, why is the T-Rex so ferocious but his arms just like little, like we always used to always talk about that. And then you think about Power Rangers, one of my favorite shows, the Red Ranger from the original series, he had the T-Rex and you used to always wonder why his little arms were so small or whatever too. So it now talking about evolution, it all now makes sense. I just wish I would have thought about that 30-something years ago to actually have those answers in that conversation, because I clearly had no answer and everybody else was like, come on, you can't say nothing.
Kanisha, have you ever seen the Power Rangers?
I have. I don't remember it, but the tiny arms and the big brain was something I never would have even questioned.
I just don't understand how we went from the T-Rex's tiny arms to the Power Rangers, because I have never seen the Power Rangers.
It's a way to remember something.
I mean, I suppose several opportunities for rain in the forecast this week. We're not really going to begin to really dry out until we get to Sunday and Monday of next week. Otherwise, temperatures remain somewhat stagnant across the area, kind of consistently climbing into the upper 70s, lower 80s.
Keep that umbrella.
Yes.
Galoshes.
100%. And those too.
All right, we'll have more show for you tonight at 9. We'll see you then.